Maganda umaga po muli mga kapuso. Alam niyo ba, laganap po sa gitnang silangan ng sistemang kafala o sponsorship. Sa ilalim nito, ang migrant worker kailangan magkaroon ng sponsor sa bansang papasukan para mabigyan siya ng visa at residence permit. Kung walang pahintulot ng sponsor o employer, ang manggagawa hindi po pwede mag-resign o umalis na lamang ng basta-basta. Ang sistemang ito, nagigimit siya ng mga pang-aabuso kaya inarereklamo maging ng ating gobyerno. Samantala, kasama raw sa napagkasunduan ng Pilipinas at Kuwait ang pagkakaroon ng bank account ng ating OFWs. Sa pamamagitan kasi nito, malalaman kung sumasahod sa tamang oras ang mga manggagawang Pinoy. Ang kasunduan, inaasahang mapipirmahan po sa unang linggo ng Abril. Sa Amerika naman, dose-dose ng reklamo na po ng sexual harassment sa trabaho ang ipinadadala sa Time's Up campaign. Ang reklamo nagmula sa mga manggagawa sa pabrika hanggang mga artista. Ang Time's Up campaign ay inilunsad ng libo-libong aktres at iba pang personalidad sa entertainment industry para labanan ang sexual harassment. Ako po si Rowena Salvacion ng Super Radio DZBB. Radyo na, TV pa!
Good morning, Molly. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And thank you for your smile. And I was telling them that you woke up a little bit earlier than usual this morning, just to be able to make it live to our studios here.
My pleasure.
Okay. Thank you, Molly. Okay. How's things between the? Well, we'll go straight to the chase.
You always do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How are things between the U.S. and America? From your perspective.
The U.S. and Philippines?
Yes. U.S. and America. Sorry, U.S. and the Philippines.
Yes.
Yes.
Things are fantastic. I'm really proud to say that our over 70-year alliance is as strong as ever. Our friendship, our partnership, everything is going really, really well.
Mm-hmm. You are not concerned, or are you concerned with the pivot of the Philippines towards countries like China in a recent past?
Well,
Molly, a far departure from the Philippines of, before 2016.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S.-China relationship is one of the most important relationships in the world. If you look at trade between the U.S. and China, that accounts for about 20% of world trade. Mm-hmm. So it's not a zero sum. It's not U.S. or China for the Philippines. Philippines can have a wonderful relationship with the U.S. and a wonderful relationship with China. It's important for all countries in the region to have close working relationships with China. So no, we're not concerned.
Okay, good. We have noticed that recently, in the past several weeks or couple of months, one U.S. Navy ship after another has been visiting the country and making, they call it ports of call, in Manila, in Subic, and other places. Sure. Is there a reason, a special reason behind this? Is this rather frequent than normal, than usual? This is one warship after another. It started, I think, or even before, the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson.
Yep.
Okay, and after that there was this warship and another warship, and I don't know if there's one right now somewhere in one of our ports.
Sure. It's actually, they're all on regular deployments. So there were no unusual ports of call visits. The USS Carl Vinson was here last year at about the same time as well.
Oh, it was?
Yep, exactly. So it's a regular deployment. Our Navy operates around the world, year-round. The ships have to go back to the U.S. ports for repair and maintenance on a regular basis, and then they rotate back out. So it's part of our regular deployment, nothing unusual. The USS Carl Vinson, like I said, last year at about the same time was here. It was back again this year. More recently, the USS Bonhomme Richard came, which was really interesting because it has amphibious assault vehicles on board, which allow the Marines to get on shore when otherwise we can't access something. So in the event following a typhoon or earthquake where some places are not accessible, it allows for access. So it's a really interesting ship, and it has a hospital on board. So that was a really interesting visit as well.
Oh, okay. A lot of people, and I know you guys at the embassy know this, the State Department, a lot of people are connecting this with what's happening in the South China Sea, which we call the West Philippine Sea.
Right. Actually,
What's your reaction to that?
Sure. These are actually just regular deployments, as we stated. There is nothing unusual about the visits. It was part of the regular schedule for these ships. Of course, freedom of navigation is important to the United States. But freedom of navigation operations happen around the world. It's not specific to any one region. These ships were on regular deployment. They were not actually doing freedom of navigation operations, just regular ports of call. The sailors were able to come ashore, and many of them participated in community relations activities. From the Bonhomme Richard, actually, the sailors packed kits for families who had been evacuated from the Mount Mayon volcano eruption to donate to those families sanitation kits and household goods items to help them as displaced people. So there are many parts of a port call. Rest and relaxation. So the Filipino American sailors who have family members here were able to see family, and in some cases for the first time meet their family members. So there are many different parts to it. There's also resupply. Sometimes there is some work that's done. So many different parts, but all just regular deployment.
Okay. This is the Navy. That's the U.S. Navy. The U.S. military in general.
Sure.
Do you do freedom of navigation trips or patrols in other parts of the world?
Yes, throughout the world.
At this frequency, and not only here in the Philippines, which is situated in the South China Sea or West Philippine Sea, Molly?
Freedom of navigation happens around the world. These two visits were actually just regular deployments, not freedom of navigation operations.
Okay.
Regular.
Okay. Which brings me to another point.
Yes.
I think this was last week. I don't know if you were there when there was a turnover of several drones. That were these purchased? These were purchased by a government, right? Was this purchased or given?
It was a grant from the U.S. government.
Oh, was it? I had the impression this was bought by our government.
Nope.
This was paid for.
Nope, it was a grant.
Okay, so you were there.
Yep.
These were brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Yep.
Of course, our president stated early in his term that we no longer would welcome. Well, we thank the aid. We would no longer welcome hand-me-downs.
Right. And these, actually, the Scan Eagle system, which you're referring to, Scan Eagle.
Scan Eagle,
yep,
okay.
It is for surveillance, reconnaissance, information gathering. It's an unmanned, so there's not a pilot flying it.
Yeah, it's what you call an UAV,
exactly.
Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that actually is part of the full package. We also gave a grant of 2 Cessna airplanes last summer, and those are manned. So the two parts of this package, the unmanned and the manned, give the Philippine armed forces really wonderful coverage throughout Mindanao.
Okay, these Cessnas, were they brand new also?
Brand new.
Okay.
I was there.
I believe you. Yep. I believe you. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Brand new.
Brand new.
Everything brand new now.
Everything brand new.
Okay. There you go. Puro na po bago. Well, I'm telling them in our language. Everything is brand new these days. Okay. And the United States. Every time there's a calamity here in the Philippines. The United States is among the first countries that always responds with aid, with assistance. In Marawi, which is the one of the biggest so far, aside from what happened in Albay lately with Mayon, but even before that, Marawi, right?
Yep.
Okay. What was the U.S.? The other countries came in with several heavy equipment and stuff. And what about the U.S.? What did you guys do for? Why are you smiling, Molly?
What did you guys do?
What? Okay.
Well, the United States, actually, we played a very important role in the Marawi conflict. Again, it goes back to the information, the assistance, the technical assistance, and the advice.
Okay, Molly, excuse me. Can we do a timeline here?
Sure.
Can we start with while the Marawi so-called Marawi siege was happening, and the rehabilitation and rebuilding after the fighting finished, during the if you may call it action that was going on in Marawi, what role, if any, did the U.S. play?
a very active role, actually.
You did.
Providing intelligence, advice, and technical support. Of course, we were not boots on the ground, but we were there providing assistance and helping the Philippine AFP gather the information or corroborate information to ensure it was correct in order to actually have a successful end to the Marawi conflict. We did donate arms through an expedited purchase program. We helped the Philippine government purchase additional equipment that they needed. And because of our close alliance and the close relationship that we have had for over 70 years, we were able to expedite many of those purchases. But I think the most important was the information, the advice, the technical advice and support to help the AFP locate and to take action to end the Marawi conflict.
Okay. Did there have to be fighting in Marawi for these things to move faster, relatively, Molly? Just asking. I mean, if Marawi did not happen or was not happening, would things have moved at this pace? The purchases, the acquisitions, and the other stuff?
Well, most of what the United States government does in cooperation with the AFP, the grants, for example, the Cessnas and the Scan Eagles, those are planned out many, many years in advance because we have an annual agreement where we talk about how to help the AFP fill gaps with training or equipment. And that conversation happens every October or November where we agree on the following year's activities, training, and equipment needs. So it's a long process. The Scan Eagles and the Cessnas were planned much before Marawi.
Oh, okay. We're talking about military assistance, military stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Before our president, pronounced that he was canceling. Medyo ano ba sabi ni Presidente Duterte? Was canceling the training exercises, the war games, balikatan, etc., etc. Where are we at now when it comes to this joint that is supposed to be held annually?
Yeah.
Not only once, but to our knowledge, at least twice a year. One is balikatan, and then there's the other things. There are several.
Many, yes.
Oh, many.
And some are very small and some are very big.
Okay, we're talking about the big ones.
The big ones, sure.
Okay.
Those all have continued. Yep, exactly.
Really?
And balikatan actually is in May this year. It happened last year as well.
Oh, so it never stopped?
They didn't stop.
What about the not so big ones?
Didn't stop.
Really?
Yeah. So all of our joint exercises and training have continued. And it's really an important part of our alliance and our partnership. The focus last year for Balikatan changed to humanitarian and disaster assistance relief. And to counterterrorism. This year, I think the focus is going to be more on counterterrorism, but again, it's happening in May. So all of those activities are continuing as they did before.
Okay. We're talking about cooperation between the Philippines and the United States. I received an email. Okay.
Yeah.
Your colleagues are very hardworking when it comes to sending emails.
They are.
Okay. The Fulbright program is celebrating its 70th anniversary.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if your international visitors program is part of the Fulbright. It's separate.
It's separate.
Okay, because years and years ago, I became part of the visitors IVP, International.
IVLP.
Is that still on? Does it still continue?
It is.
Right.
Yeah. And how was your experience?
Very educational, very enlightening. I had a chance to go around the U.S., but more than that, I had a chance to interact with people from other countries.
Yep.
And we were a group, right? And you know how that goes, right?
It's a wonderful program.
Yes, you're assigned staff from the State Department to go with you and be with you and take care of you and answer questions and point things out. Well, anyway, 70th anniversary of Fulbright.
Yes.
What benefit has the Fulbright program been to Filipinos? Please explain to our listeners and viewers this morning. Who, by the way, you're on primetime radio. You know that, right? This is radio's prime time.
This is radio's
when
prime time.
everybody's listening.
Because
Okay.
you are the primetime radio personality.
No, because after this, they all start to watch our Nuta. What are you, you're not supposed to cheer people. Okay, yeah.
They're cheering for you.
They might think that, okay, Molly. Fulbright,
70 yes.
70 years?
70.
70?
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
So actually, the Fulbright Commission here in the Philippines is the oldest, the longest continuing program in the world.
Huh?
Yes.
In the world?
In the world.
In the Philippines?
Yes.
Oh.
See, we are friends, partners, and allies, and
Well,
have been for many years.
We never said we aren't.
I know, but it's amazing to see the depth and the breadth of the relationship. It's not just military, it's not just USAID, it's also exchanges like the Philippines.
Okay, so what happens under the Fulbright program?
Okay, so the Fulbright program is fantastic. It brings scholars and students from the United States to the Philippines and from the Philippines to the United States. In the last 70 years, there have been over 3,000 American scholars and professors who have come to the Philippines, and over 1,000 Filipinos who have gone to the United States. Some of those programs are 2 years, some of them are shorter, but it's a really incredible program. Most recently, as part of the Philippine Department of Education's change from 10 to 12 years, we have sent teachers, university teachers who teach first and the second year of university to the United States for master's programs. That's been over 50 university professors because of the gap, right? As the students go from 10th grade to 12th grade, the first and second year university professors didn't have as many students. And so we met that need by sending them to the United States for master's degrees.
So you're telling me the Fulbright program here in the Philippines is alive and well?
Alive and well.
And strong?
And strong.
And strong?
It is.
Okay.
And we're celebrating 70 years.
70 years.
This Friday. In the United States, Ambassador Romualdez is hosting a gala event as well to commemorate the 70 years. So on both sides, we're celebrating this incredible partnership.
Okay. Your president, Donald Trump, is going to meet, at least as of today, is going to meet with the leader of North Korea. Right? I think they're working it out.
They're working it out. Right? Yeah, I don't know if a meeting has been set.
They said they're targeting May or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. What about your president and our president meeting?
They met in November.
No, I mean,
Again?
just them. But November was the summit, and everybody else was there. Okay, and this was, like they say, on the sides. They met. I'm talking about just Donald Duterte. Hi. Sorry about those placards. Excuse me. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, and Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Just them. Okay? No other leaders, no summit, no nothing.
Well, in November.
I know this is this. You could probably say, "Hey, Mike, you should ask Ambassador Kim that. I can bring him to you one of these mornings, okay? And we will welcome him here too, Molly. By the way, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what about a meeting between Trump and Duterte?
Sure. So in November they did meet, the two of them. They met for 45 minutes or an hour, just the two of them, separate from the ASEAN summit. So they did have an opportunity, just the two of them, to meet. I know an invitation has been extended to President Duterte to visit Washington. I think you should ask your president when they'll meet next.
Okay. So far, it's a no. I mean, so far he's busy. I mean, not a no, but so far, no reply.
Well, I understand your president has a very, very, very busy travel schedule.
Yeah. Are you at liberty to tell us? I'm just trying, okay? I think I know what the answer from you will be going towards. But anyway, you know our kind of work. We're supposed to try and try, okay? Is there such a meeting being worked out between the two governments at this point?
I unfortunately don't have that information. I know that the invitation has been extended.
The invitation has been extended?
Yep, and they have exchanged letters, correspondence, and it's been a very, very positive relationship.
They have exchanged correspondence regarding this or regarding other matters?
There was, I think, regarding hosting of ASEAN more specifically, but the invitation was extended for President Duterte to visit Washington, D.C.
And President Trump, you know, I don't know if you've been here long enough to get an inkling of what I just read before we put you on the air in front of the microphone and the camera. that your president is quoted as having saying that, where is it? Well, he says he wants drug traffickers and those responsible for the opioid crisis now going on in America to he wants to impose the death penalty on them. Just like what President Duterte wants to happen, or what is happening to the people involved in drugs here in the Philippines. Your president said that.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think the most important thing is to recognize many countries face drug problems. So we, the Philippines, we all have a drug crisis really to confront. It's important how we go about doing that. I think one of the most important things to keep in mind is in the United States we really value rule of law and transparency. So if there is a change in how sentencing happens, it would be within the context of rule of law and a transparent judicial system. That's the most important.
Okay, this is the quote from Trump, latest. Toughness is the thing that they most fear. But I read that earlier. He said, toughness is the thing they most fear. They sound alike, Duterte and Trump, Molly. Yes.
They do.
Okay,
they do.
Yes.
I mean, I think about I think about my kids, right?
Right. How old
Sometimes,
are they?
13, 11, and 7.
Oh, yung mga nagte-text po rito, 3 na po anak ni Molly. Okay? Ang kanyang driver dito sa Metro Manila, asawa niya. Kaya huwag na kayo mag-text. People are texting us here, telling us how pretty you are, etc., etc. And I'm telling them you have 3 kids and your driver is your husband.
Exactly.
Okay, so quit it, people. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Molly.
I think about my 3 kids.
Ages again?
13, 11, and 7.
Oh my goodness, 13, 11, and 7. Where are they? Are they here or in the States?
No, they're here, of course.
They're here?
Yeah.
Okay, you think about your kids.
And I think about sometimes toughness works and sometimes compassion works. It really depends on the problem set.
Okay, how's your ambassador? How's Ambassador Kim?
Ambassador Kim's amazing. He is, I think, doing a great job. He has an excellent relationship with your president. I think they've met, I don't know, maybe 10 times already.
Yes, I know that for a fact, firsthand, from the ambassador himself. We sat side by side for 2 days, 2 days in a row, late last year, in the Metrobank Foundation selection of the 10 outstanding Filipinos.
Ah, what a wonderful
3
event.
soldiers,
Yes.
3 policemen, and 3 or 4 teachers.
Yep.
The Metrobank Foundation, and we were both members of the panel of judges.
Yep.
And the seating arrangement had Ambassador Kim and myself sitting next to each other. And so it was my opportunity to ask him questions. And of course, one of the first questions I asked was, how do you find our president?
Yep.
And he said, Mike, I've had several meetings with him. But these meetings are not publicized, they're not heralded, they're not known too much. And several meetings with the president, some of them in Davao. Not here in Manila, not in Malacanang, but in Davao.
Yep.
And so you're saying Ambassador Kim and the president have excellent relations?
They have had incredibly wonderful dialogue, great conversations. And that's diplomacy, right? There's no reason to publicize meetings when we're just building relations, and the ambassador is doing his job, which is representing the president here in the Philippines.
I see. Okay. Is there a deliberate effort here to be silent? Not really silent,
No.
but not to highlight too much the issue of human rights. It's a big issue. Big issue here.
Human rights is a big issue around the world.
It's a big issue around the world, okay? And I noticed, and because of that, our president has, relatively speaking, warmed up to your ambassador, current ambassador, compared to his predecessor. Is there a deliberate effort on your part to not really be silent on the issue of human rights, but on, and just kind of, for lack of a better phrase, tone it down a little bit, Molly?
Well, we continue to raise human rights concerns. It's a core American value, and we raise human rights concerns around the world where we see fit. We here in the Philippines have raised human rights concerns up to the highest level, but we do it privately.
Okay. That's a key word, privately. Okay. Yeah, I think that could be the reason, one of the reasons why, as you say, Ambassador Kim and President Duterte, as of this morning, are hitting it off well.
Ambassador Kim has been here for a year and a few months now, and they continue to have a good relationship. So
Good.
I have full confidence.
Good. Yes, because the foreign policy now is to be in excellent relations with everyone, and not just with the Americans, or the Chinese, or the Russians, or whoever, but with everyone. Okay, Molly. We could, when you're talking about Philippine-American relations, you could talk for days on end about this.
That has been something that's amazed me. Before coming to the Philippines, I was aware of the 4 million Filipino Americans in the United States and the 300,000+ U.S. citizens resident in the Philippines, but I hadn't realized how deep the bonds are. I don't think I've met someone yet who doesn't have a family member or went to school or has a connection with the United States. It's really amazing.
It is. Where have you been assigned? You told me earlier you had a stint in Shanghai?
Yep, Shanghai.
And before Shanghai, where else?
Havana.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Cuba?
In Cuba.
Was that before or after the Obama administration's opening?
It was during. It was during the,
really?
the economic
okay.
changes.
So you've been to
Yep.
China, you've been to Cuba.
Yep, and before Havana, I was in Beijing.
In Beijing, okay, yeah,
And
China.
before
yeah.
Beijing, I was in Mexico.
In Mexico, okay. And how do you compare Filipinos? I'm not talking about government to
Yeah,
government.
people.
I'm talking about people here.
Sure.
Okay. And okay.
I get asked this question often.
Here comes your smile. Okay.
But I do have to say, Filipinos are the warmest, nicest people that I think I've met anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
The hospitality, the friendliness, even driving, Filipinos are nice. They let you get in the road.
Would you like to repeat that, please?
Even driving, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't drive. Your husband does.
No, I drive as well.
Let me talk
I
to
drive
him.
as well.
Really now? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Really? Okay. So you find Filipino drivers and motorists nice?
I do.
Hi. Okay, Molly, like I said, this could go on for days, and if that happens, I will lose my job because I need to give the other news, and you, I'm sure, have other things also to address.
Yeah, we're actually on our way to a culmination of a 5-year tuberculosis project where the United States government has helped work with the Philippine government to work on elimination and curing of tuberculosis here in the Philippines. And it was a 5-year, 1.5 billion peso project.
Well,
so I'm on my way there right now.
Okay, what part of the city will it be in?
I don't remember.
What part of the
I think
city?
it's actually near the embassy. Yep. It's
Oh,
over.
you're traveling all the way to the other end of town.
Yep.
Okay, so we better let you go and wish you luck with the traffic.
Thank you.
Molly, would like to thank you. Let's do this again.
Sounds
Let's do
good.
this again.
I look
And we mentioned Ambassador Kim. We would love to have Ambassador Kim here. Okay, he was here when sometime last year, was he upstairs?
Yep.
Were you were with him, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and so we would welcome him here downstairs.
Okay. I'll talk to
Where
him
the
about
action
it.
is, huh?
Where the action is.
Oh,
exactly.
okay, Molly. Okay, mga kapuso, si Molly Cochina, press attaché ng U.S. How long have you been here? Have you been stationed here in the Philippines?
Just over a year and a half.
When you I asked you if you'd been around. I'm going to ask you again. Have you been around already? Has that been enough chance for you to go around the country?
There is more to discover. I mean, there's 7,200
Yeah, of course. Well,
islands.
you can't get it in
Can't get them
in a year
all.
or two. Of
No.
course not.
But I have
Okay.
traveled more, and each trip I take, I love the Philippines more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Molly, thank you very much for coming over and for sharing your thoughts with us on the different topics and issues. And like I said, we'll do this again. We'll
Sounds
do this
good.
again together with the ambassador. He's welcome anytime. Okay. And so that people will know what's going on. It's part of the job that you
Yep.
and us here do.
Exactly.
Okay?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Molly. Merong papasok na flash report.
Sumeradyo, DZWB, Last Report!
Biglaan to mga tiga LTFRB, biglang dumating dyan sa isang terminal ng bus. Alangatos, bakit? Ano meron dyan?
May kasunod nga nung nangyaring aksidente sa Occidental Mindoro kung saan ang isa sa mga bus na kinasasangkutan ay Dimple Star. Nasa terminal tayo ngayon ng Dimple Star kung saan ay ini-inspeksyon ditong mga tauhan ng LTFRB sa panguna ni LTFRB board member.
20 namatay dyan,
Nako, yun nga yung nakakalungkot,
Alan,
Mike.
asop ngayong umaga yan, 20 ang patay. Dimple Star Bass, grabe yan.
Oo, at sa mga oras nga na to, ini-inspection, Mike, ng mga tauhan ng LTFRB itong mga bus ng Dimple Star. At sa ngayon, hindi na muna bibiyahe itong mga bus na to na nandito sa terminal ng Dimple Star na matatagpuan sa EDSA malapit sa Santolan. Isa sa mga nakita nila, Mike, ipapakita lang natin dito sa ating Skype, ay itong kalbong gulong na to na makikita ngayon. Ito, kitang-kita na kalbong-kalbo na at binabanggit ng mga inspektor ng LTFRB, hindi na dapat ito ipinabiyahe dahil sa delikado na. Isa kasi sa mga nagiging problema, lalo na kung malayuan daw yung biyahe, gaya itong biyahe ng Dimple Star na hanggang Visayas, ay yung ganito kalalayong biyahe ay nagiging dahilan ng mga aksidente. Makikita rin ngayon yung kung gaano karami yung mga pasahero na nag-aantabay dito. At ngayong araw, ilalabas na rin ng LTFRB yung preventive suspension order laban dito sa prangkisa ng Dimple Star kung saan 10 bus ang hindi papayagan na makabiyahe kasunod na rin nitong nangyaring aksidente. Ang preventive suspension order ay tumatagal ng halos 30 araw para nang sa ganon ay hindi makabiyahe habang nagsasagawa ng investigasyon at kayo na rin habang patuloy na pinagpapaliwanag ang operator ng Dimple Star sa nangyaring aksidente. Ako si Alan Gats ng number 1 AM station sa Mega Manila, GMA Super Radio, DC Dobol.
20 magkasunod. Salamat, Alan. 20 magkasunod na flash report natin sa umaga ito.
Super Radio, DZWB, Last Report!
Mula dyan sa terminal ng Dimple Bus na na-aksidente po sa may Quezon, sa may Mindoro. 20 ang patay. Dimple Bus na Dimple Star. Hindi Dimple Bus, Benji. Dimple Star. Dimple Star Bus. Ngayon naman, pangalawang flash report.
Super Radio, DZWB, Last Report!
Nadagdagan po ang bilang ng mga namatay dun sa sunog sa Manila Pavilion Hotel tsaka Casino po ng Pangcordon. Essie Villarosa, pasok!
Malungkot na balita ito, Mike, dahil umakyat na sa 6 ang bilang ng mga nasawi sa nangyaring sunog sa Waterfront Manila Pavilion Hotel and Casino dito sa Ermita, Maynila. Sa opisyal na statement ng Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR, kinumpirma nito na binawian na ng buhay ang isa pa nilang empleyado na si Jeneline Figueroa, 28 taong gulang. Si Figueroa, internal security staff sa Casino Pavilion o sa Casino Filipino Pavilion, ay pumanaw kaninang madaling araw matapos malagay sa kritikal na kondisyon sa loob ng 3 araw habang nakakonfine sa Manila Doctors Hospital. 6 na taon na nagtatrabaho si Figueroa sa PAGCOR. Nagpaabot naman ng pagkikiramay ang PAGCOR sa pagpanaw ng 6 nilang empleyado. Nangako rin ang PAGCOR na tutulungan nila ang pamilya ng mga namatay sa sunog. Ngayong umaga, Mike, ay nakatakda naman bumalik dito sa Manila Pavilion ang mga miyembro ng Bureau of Fire Protection para ituloy ang kanilang pagsisiyasat. Ako si Cecil Villarosa. Yes, Mike.
Si Ali to.
Yes, Ali. Yes, Ali.
Cecil, alam mo ang isang dapat pag-usapan dyan, itong manual, Mike, Igan, may manual daw itong PAGCOR sa kanilang personnel. Particular may mga namatay sa sa treasury, di ba? Na pag nagkaroon ng fire situation, ito nakasaad mismo sa kanilang manual. Kapag mayroon ng fire situation, bago iligtas ang sarili nila, kailangan muna nilang ilagay yung pera, yung chips sa main vault.
Sige, yan. Hinga natin ang paglinaw yan, Ali.
Oo, dahil kasi yata may nagkaroon ng denial. Na gano'n ang patakaran, pero meron talaga sa manual nila na provision na the TO, ATO cashier shall immediately secure cash, chips, tokens, and other pertinent documents by placing them inside the main vault.
Bago iligtas yung sarili?
Nila. Ayan o.
Ba?
During a fire situation, nakalagay ng klarong-klaro sa manual ng PAGCOR, yung yung panuntunan nila na yan.
Sige, hihinga natin ang paglinaw ang PAGCOR. Oo, kasi bagamat meron nang naunang pagtanggi ang PAGCOR.
Kasi lahat ng nakita kong mga emergency tips unahin yung sarili.
Oo nga, ano yun? Unahin muna yung pera
Ang
at
nakikita
chips.
ko lang na hindi unahin ng sarili, piloto, kapitan ng barko, di ba? Mga ganun,
yun ang-
uunahin yung pasahero.
Sumunod sila sa panuntunan. By the time they finished doing that, according to the books, according to the manual, wala na ang kapal na ng usok. In fact, yung dun sa
Doon ba sila sa
CCTV,
Bolt namatay?
di ba parang yakap-yakap pa niya yung yung Picos? Yung may machine pa siyang hawak-hawak? Natagpuan siya yung bangkay niya, na yakap-yakap pa niya yung yung machine.
Yan ay ating
Yung employee manning the CCTV burned beyond recognition.
Yung mga nasa CCTV room, dalawa doon ang namatay.
Tapos magkano ibibigay ng PAGCOR? Nasa 200,000 ba?
Kada pamilya ng biktima. Itong huling namatay, si Jeneline Figueroa, siya yung unang napaulat na dead on arrival sa hospital pero na-revive. Kahapon nagkaroon ng positibong indikasyon na siya ay tuluyang makakasalba, pero kanina nga madaling araw ay tuluyan ng binawian ng buhay itong si Figueroa. Yung panglima namang namatay, yung CCTV operator din, nahirapan ang Bureau of Fire Protection na mahanap yung kanyang mga labi. Siya yung huling pinaka na-recover sa loob ng nasusunog na hotel na gusali kasi natakpan siya ng ng video recording equipment. Yun. At kailangang sumailalim pa sa DNA examination yung labi nitong pangalan nito ay si Joe Chris. Sandali lang inahanap ko lang aking notes para mas magiging precise yung ating ibibigay ng impormasyon. Itong si Joe Chris Banang, CCTV operator, kailangan pang sumailalim sa DNA examination para ma-issuehan ng death certificate at makapagproseso ng claims ang kanyang mga kaanak. Pero yung issue yan, nasa
PAGCOR manual. During a fire situation, ilagay muna sa main vault ang pera, ang chips, ang tokens, ang mga dokumento. Mauna pa yun bago iligtas ang sarili nila.
Sige, hinga natin ng paglilinaw dyan, ang paliwanag, ang PAGCOR, kaugnay nga ng bahaging yan sa kanilang manual. Ako si Cecil Villarosa, na number 1 AM station sa Mega Manila, GMA Super Radio,
Super Radio, DZWB, Last